Okay. All right, we'll do a little test out here. Hopefully, we'll get a couple people in and make sure all the audio sounds good because Lord knows that's not how things work around here. Audio doesn't tend to work for me. So we'll find out one way or the other. And at the same time, too, as well, I'm always recording a backup. And then later on, these things all sync up together. So I don't care. You ever have one of those long days where you didn't really do much of anything, but at the same time, too, you're like, I'm exhausted. I did nothing, but yet I feel like I did everything. But, oh, all right, well, I'm just going to use the cutoff of that and use that as the end of that song. Perfect. Just as I had planned. That's not true. That's not true. Well, I'll tell you this much. I've got a couple of reviews here to do for you today. I was gonna go live last night. That was the initial plan. Was last night at like 10 p.m. to go live and talk about F1 because I had just gotten out of seeing that at like a 7 p.m. show. But what I did not realize is that F1 was 2.5 hours long. It was a big one. We'll find out if that movie was worth it. We'll also find out if Megan 2.0 was worth it. Does anyone look at Adam's fancy handiwork? It's nice, right? Misspelling Megan. I was in a rush. The 3 should be the E. Me so dumb. Me so dumb. But yeah, let me know if you hear if the audio sounds decent in there for me. And while you're doing that, man, since you're up in that neighborhood, be a dirty baby and like and subscribe to this sucker. We really appreciate that. Love hearing from you. Love seeing the likes and the subscribes and all those kind of things. And as well as if you found this channel in any way, shape, or form due to shorts, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. This is what I'm hoping to do a little further on is a little bit of reviews, a little bit of reactions, all kinds of fun stuff. And I've got fantastic news. Now that we got a couple people in the room, I feel like I have to share. I won't give you all the specifics yet because it's yet to come through. But as I was just heading to the gym for the second time today, that's right, your boy's a fatty. He'd be going to the gym twice a day just because I don't want to do all that cardio at the same time, you know? It's just like I'd rather kind of save most of that for the evening time, and then you do that and come back yapping a podcast mic for a couple of bits here and everything, and then off to dreamland. That's how we're looking at it this night. But as I was going to the gym and everything, I stopped by, and wouldn't you know it, I got myself an email from a company that I had thought had long ago just kind of lost touch with me. They said, hey, we'd like to, I reached out to them initially and said, hey, I'd like to do something with you guys. And they were like, yeah, this seems like a good idea. We can hook you up with that. And I said, all right, cool. And then like literally over a month went by. Over a month goes by, not a word, not a peep, nothing. And then just out of the blue today, got an email, said, hey, we'd like to get y'all set up. Sorry about the delay and everything. And I was like, oh yeah. So new videos coming on the website soon. Not just these reacts and everything, not just the regular podcast, but actual. I'll tease it this way: home theater gear. That's right. I've been in the market for a little bit of something, and companies said, "Hey, we'd like to send you out a little something, get your review on it, and see what people think about it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'd like to do that." So keep an eye out on that. There'll be several videos on that. You'll know when that's happening. But again, thank you for stopping by, hitting that like and subscribe button and all that kind of good stuff. And again, if anybody can just throw a little something in the chat and let me know if the audio is coming through, because I don't know. Maybe that should be a banner I make. Here we go. Let's do this. Chat if you can hear me. put that one in. That's always a going because I never really know. I never really quite know. That's one thing that I will definitely say about StreamYard. I'm going to go ahead and if for one chance or another StreamYard happens to see this, hear this, or hell, I don't know how the computers these days work and everything. If it's, my file is saved on their servers and stuff like that. So I imagine, they have the ability to scrape all of these things. But what I would like to say is, hey, StreamYard, can we get a little VU, module somewhere in our little layout here so we can see what's going through, what's being sent out, and where it's being sent out from? Just like maybe a mic source, a source, something, a couple different things, just to let us know where the hell the audio is going, and that we're not, doing exactly what I'm doing right now, which is begging people to say whether or not they hear me, and perhaps they do, perhaps they don't. Either way, I'm syncing it up at the end of the day, so that's what's going to happen in post. One thing I'm not sure if I can do or not is if in YouTube. Okay, there you go. Wait, no, that's my chat. I'm looking. I'm like, hey, somebody. Oh wait, that was me. I commented on my stuff. All right. Anywho, let's do this since we're kind of waiting around here and everything, and I don't know what's what. We'll start with a reaction video, and then we'll kind of get into our 2 reviews here and everything while my brain starts to settle a little bit. Give me just a sec here. "14-year-old kids make videos on YouTube. Does that make you feel old?" No. I mean, my back makes me feel old. I hate old people jokes like that, if I'm completely honest. It's just like, you know what? I'm not old and I'm not feeble. I'm 43 years of age. Now, I will say this. When I was growing up and my mom, I remember very specifically when my mom turned 40, that was she would have statements all the time about how she was 40 and how, like, essentially that was her excuse on anything. If anybody kind of gave her, like, any rough business or stuff, it's just like, oh, do you think that you can do this? Anybody tries to give her a hard time, her answer was always, I am 40 years old. It would always kind of start out like that. I am 40 years old and I'll do whatever I want to do. And we all laughed at mom back then. We were all just like, what is she even talking about? I'm 40 years old. I do whatever I want to do. And I'm like, no. I get that. Once I hit that age, like you start to feel it a little bit in your 30s. You start to feel a little bit like, oh, maybe I don't care about some people's opinion. Maybe, you start to get a little bit about that. But like once you hit that 40, you really don't give a damn anymore. You just don't. I used to look at old timers dancing and stuff, and I'm just like, how do you get the nerve? How you get the nerve to just be dancing around like that with your big old dumb ass? And nowadays I look at that man and I just go, that man was free. That man was free from the shackles of society. He shuck his ass for him. Not for anybody else, for him. May we all inspire to be like that old man. So as I said, I'm going to be doing some home theater reactions and stuff come soon once I get a delivery. Oh, delivery should be this week as well. He said, hey, will you be free? I don't know if he was like this week or next week. I think he said like next week. And I was like, yeah, I'll be free. I'll be free all week. All right, so give me just a moment here. I got to wet my whistle. I am just kind of... How's everybody's Thursday? I got to see 2 movies this week, 2 new releases before Friday. That's pretty wild. I had a free ticket today. Didn't pay nothing that way. Yesterday, I had like free concessions and stuff, so I only ended up paying like $7 for the upgrade or whatever was it. So that felt pretty sweet. Not too shabby. And one of the theaters was an actual laser projection, so I got to, wild thought of thoughts, see the picture. It's strange, I know. But every now and then you can go into a theater and go like, "Oh, look, I can see what the picture is." Because they will take a bulb until it is absolutely pooped and dead. I say that as somebody who was a manager of a movie theater, and I always wanted to replace the bulbs faster, but the guy who was kind of in charge of the projectors and everything was like, "No, we gotta milk it. We've got to milk it." And I'm just like, it looks like crap, dude. It looks like crap. And what are you gonna do? But that's on the list. I've kind of compartmentalized that, especially today. Or yesterday when I went to see F1 and everything, seeing that in laser does make me just kind of go, all right, this just needs to become the de facto projection system in theaters. It's going to take a little while for everybody to get over to it and everything, but it is time that they actually do that, because these traditional, xenon bulbs and everything, they're just not bright enough for long enough and everything. The lasers are so much better at getting a bright, consistent picture out and everything. And when we're comparing things, you go to a theater and the theater looks like absolute garbage compared to home, right? I mean, I have an 85-inch 4K TV, so it's and especially as close as I'm sitting to that damn thing, it's pretty awesome. So like, I'm used to a super big and bright picture and everything, man. So when I go into a movie theater and it looks like I'm looking through a dirty dog bowl, it's not fun, man. I think more of these theaters need to get on to the that laser projection and everything. That is going to be the wave of the future for all these guys. But again, like I said, with home theater and stuff like that, there's a lot of different options and stuff. I put a video out not too long ago about a budget home theater and everything. We're going to be talking a little bit about things going a little bit higher than budget, I believe, today, because we're going to jump over and talk to our buddies over at Linus Tech Tips, and they have a video entitled, "I turned my truck," if I can get the damn thing to work. Here we go. "I turned my truck into my fire truck into a home theater." So not too awful long ago, for whatever, oh my God, I got to stop whatever that music's happening. Give me a break. All right. Hopefully y'all don't hear all that shit. No? Good? No? Good. So with this video, well, I'll tell you this much. A couple of, I guess maybe weeks back, I don't know how far it is that they do their timetables there and everything. But the folks over at Linus Tech Tips got themselves a hold of an old fire engine for some reason. And of all the things that I thought that they would do with the fire engine, I did not put home theater on my bingo card for that one. So I'm curious as to see what they do with "I turned my fire truck into a home theater." Linus has done some questionable things in the past. Let's see how questionable we got him this time, boys.
It's a fire truck.
Because this truck is...
Do you know why they call this a fire truck?
Because this truck is fire! We set out to make this the party bus of fire trucks, and I gotta say,
We more than succeeded.
I'm talking 20...
Isn't Linus married? Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for talking on Kick, dude. Very awesome, because we have very few people that are over on Kick. So any Kick that's not an actual spam and everything is big ups, bud. Thanks for following. Why would you be wanting to make a party bus, Linus? You are a married man, my man.
7 speakers,
1,620 watts of power.
and of course, full...
That doesn't really mean a whole bunch. When watts of power, I mean, like, you can have a subwoofer alone that's going to be well over 100 watts or well over 1,000 watts. So
Dolby Atmos, making this the best fire truck for music, movies, and yes, of course, my friends, games. That last bit was key for AMD, who sponsored this video. Now all we gotta do is show you.
Whenever I hear that, it's I always think of the crabs on the beach in the in the Obama's Gone meme. Yeah, I might could give you a watch there, bud. 5:30. I can see what we can do. Yeah.
How we did it.
I wonder if he's going to go projection or if we're going. I mean, if he said home theater, and Linus a lot of times will say home theater and do mean projection and stuff. So we'll see.
Good, great.
5:30. That's it. Oh, 5:50. I'm sorry, I can't read. I got the bad eyes. You see the glasses?
I approached this project with one goal: to have the first ever Dolby Atmos fire truck.
I thought we were putting like car speakers in it. This is a whole ass home theater.
Yeah,
Where are you gonna put 2 subs?
we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but yeah, we have about 16.
As somebody who drove an ambulance around, I drove a converted ambulance when I was a high school teacher. We had I was a high school teacher for broadcast journalism, and we would do live to tape sporting events and political events and all kinds of things. So we took an ambulance and converted that into a production live truck and everything. So I know for sure there are so many nooks and crannies and spots that you can put in that kind of truck. So I know for sure you're going to have so many places to kind of store a lot of those home theater equipment gear and everything in little parts and containers and stuff all over the place. So I imagine, at least as far as that goes, and you can probably wire a whole bunch of stuff in there, but let's see how jank it is.
100 watts worth of speakers here, 27 of them to be exact, and it's gonna rock.
I don't even know where to begin with you sometimes. This is a better AV receiver than I have at my house.
Well, it's gonna be in your fire truck now.
I do want that one because if I'm not mistaken, that one comes with Derrick Live.
Do you want to look at the doors for a second?
Sure. Yep, that's a door, all right.
Yeah, to answer your first question about why we didn't just use car audio speakers, it's because those require, a door to be, I don't know, like this wide, something like that. Most car doors are like 8 inches or so.
Oh, wow. This is not.
Yeah, if you look,
Because they're not putting speakers in it. That's why.
the usable door card for this is that thick.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so there's just literally nowhere to put speakers on this. And also, even if we did, it's
They'd
not
sound
gonna
like trash.
Yeah, it would sound terrible. That's why we're using the
That's fair.
Kef T series. These are very nice speakers, but also very thin speakers.
Oh my God, Alex. Those I can figure out how we would mount.
See, I never quite understand. I know the idea and everything is get something super thin, keep it thin, and all that kind of good stuff. But my biggest thought is you are sacrificing sound at that point. You are not doing yourself a favor with, unless it is absolutely 1000% necessary that you go through and put something in that's that flat. You're just doing something that's gimmicky. It feels like what was the thing that you used to get in the Sharper Image catalog? Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Sharper Image catalog of speakers, that kind of crap. You'll pay $1 million, but it won't be any damn good.
Where are we supposed to put this?
Yeah,
Why'd you get so many of the big ones?
I asked Kef for all the little ones, but it turns out they only had the big ones in stock. So these we got special ordered in, and the rest are all going to be huge. It's going to be so funny.
Oh, I think I'm picking up what you're throwing down, though.
Yep,
Right there, right?
right there, right up here.
Of course, that's only 3 channels so far. To get the full Dolby Atmos experience, we're going to need surrounds.
But where the hell are you sitting, in the driver's seat? I'm confused. I wish it would have given us some sort of a layout or something. You know, those all those like HGTVs and stuff where they put together some, animated thing of like, I don't know how the hell they do all that stuff and do it as well as they do and pump out all the shows that they do. I look at that stuff and I just go like, well, that costs $1 billion to do.
And we're also going to need heights Are you planning to ceiling mount these?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm thinking maybe
where else are they going to go? The Atmos can't go at your feet, Linus. Come on now.
here for the surrounds, just on the back here.
Well, those are the rears.
Oh,
I
we're
think.
gonna have rears and surrounds.
Yeah, so maybe they can go like back here for the most like differential rear fill.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, we could just go like that too then.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, like they can just go right here. It doesn't even matter because we already have our sides.
Which is all fine and good, bud. But where the devil are you planning to mount these subwoofers?
See, I think a subwoofer, depending upon how big it is, well, that's a 12-inch. It depends if some of the seats open up for storage or something like that, or swing out below. I remember we used to have like a cable reel or something that I think that we could put under those things. It's a bit smaller than that, so I'm not it's questionable.
They're not compact at all.
No, you figure he'd be smart and get like, you know, an SVS 3000 micro or something like that. You could have like 4 of those inside that truck, and that'd be perfect. But you know, obviously they gave Kef a ring a ding ding, and so that's what Kef got right there. So that's what they said.
No, it's going to be a problem. I originally wanted the 10-inch ones that actually kind of make sense for the space, but Kef were very insistent that the
they were like, these are taking up space in the warehouse. They're going out of style. For the love of God, please get them out of here and put them in your dummy fire truck.
12 is much better and will deliver much better bass for us.
So
did you tell them that you were putting it inside of a fire truck?
you got 2 of them? I have no idea what he's planning. Like a lot of the time, we've reviewed the script and pretty much aligned on the plan. Where the hell is this supposed to go? Did AMD sponsor this video?
They did.
I see their sick Ryzen AI Max 395 Plus processors here in this Asus ROG Flow Z13. This is actually going to be a great pairing.
What do you guys think of advertising within like the kind of, you know, this sort of bit right here, you know?
Right here in the front of the fire truck with our surround sound setup. So we'll get to that a little bit later. First, I guess this goes back here.
I will say this, at least the ad wasn't that long, right? It's just like, hey, here's the thing, bye. All
but
right,
it does
cool.
seem to be a plan. Of course, all of this so far is in theory. We actually have no idea what's under any of these panels. Is the cabin heat handled by just plumbing engine coolant up here and blowing it through a heat exchanger right there?
No. It's worse than that. It's exhaust. They want you to get acclimated to it as a firefighter, you know? They figure, hey, he's going to need to be around smoke a whole bunch. Why not pump some of that methane right back into the cabin a little bit? It's kind of like, you know, how Harry Houdini or whatever had like a little bit of poison and stuff all the time. So he could basically kind of, you know, eat or drink any kind of poison or something like that just because he's, or was that the Princess Bride? I forget.
Pretty much, yeah.
So where are these plumbing lines going? They just go.
I guess down
they
there.
just go. That's why this has this piece, Alex.
Oh,
It's a shroud here for the plumbing lines for the cabin heater.
Hey, that guy played Quake back in the day. What's he play now? That Shroud guy. I know he's still out there looking like emotionalist.
Brilliant.
Oh, and we can probably just put all our wires straight up through there.
That
and
we
then
can.
Super easy.
That's awesome. Okay. He's just going ham. He's gone ham. He's gone ham now.
Does Linus not know there are microphones all around? You see how this microphone's right at my face and I'm just kind of keeping it this level? It's not that tough. It's called being cognizant, Linus. Come on now.
So it looks like that the construction is this stuff, some foam, and some plywood. It's all glued together, and the plywood is what's screwed in. So if we want to get it down, the plywood gets ouched, which I think I'm okay with.
How is that the conclusion you're drawing?
In a lot of cars, the quality of your components of your sound system matters a lot less than just simply how much you're able to treat it. Like our amplifier here has 0.08% harmonic distortion. That does not matter at all if everything is rattling all to heck. So,
which it will be in this thing. Let me tell you, when you drive around one of these emergency vehicles, it is like driving around the set of Sanford and Son, man. Things are clanking and clunking and falling all over the place. And because we weren't, you know, we were a TV thing inside of an ambulance and everything. So nothing was anywhere where we're supposed to go. So stuff was just flying out all over the place. Cameras were dropping, batteries smashing into things and stuff. So yeah, it's going to sound terrible, especially once you get that those subwoofers humming in there. No thanks.
So we're going to take everything apart, sound deaden as much as we can, and hopefully it won't sound like, well, a big old rattly fire truck.
Oh, it will.
Turns out the inside of the doors were completely covered in wax, which is good because it prevents rust, but it's not so good if you want to add sound deadening, because I would need to spend the next 2 days doing that. So instead, we're only going to sound deaden the interior door panel, which probably will get us most of the way there anyway. The first thing you want to do when you are sound deadening is just to clean everything off. If you have a bunch of dirt underneath...
Not cleaning. Not going to happen. No, thank you. It's just too much work. At that point, call it a day.
Your sound deadening, well, you won't have sound deadening very long because it's going to all fall off. The sound deadening is just some butyl rubber with some aluminum foil on the back. It is really important to wear some cut-proof gloves when you're doing this. For a large sheet like this, I could probably get away with it, but when you're getting it in little nooks and crannies, this aluminum tape will cut your fingers.
I'm already having an emotional reaction to this tape cutting your fingers bull crap.
And it will hurt a lot. Once you have the panel roughly affixed, you want a roller like this so you can go through and make sure it's all super firmly attached.
We got this alligator skin here. It's going to look real good. See, real good. I'm going alligator. You see, I got this fire truck here. Outfitted top to bottom in alligator skin. It is the sexiest fire truck home theater that you've ever seen in your entire life. Enjoy yourself.
Even just covering a bit of it should make a really big difference. Yeah, you can really hear it already.
It sounds like he's really convinced himself. Oh yeah, you can hear that.
Really like to make sure that I cut out more than I need to, so that hopefully the bit that is left over will be useful somewhere else. You don't need anywhere near 100% coverage, just putting a little bit on here.
That's what you say when you've gotten tired of doing the chore real fast. You're just like, I don't need to do it for everything, just that little bit should be fine. It should be fine.
Will make a huge difference. All right, how does it sound now? Oh yeah.
I don't think there's anybody on the other side of the door, bud.
That is way better. There's no more ringing. This is going to sound awesome. With the doors nice and sound deadened, I want to turn my attention to the roof. We're going to be
the roof is on fire.
That I suspect we're going to be pressurizing the cabin at very low frequencies. So the whole roof, I think, is going to start shaking a whole bunch. To fix that, more sound deadening. One bonus of all this work is the sound deadening is actually a pretty decent insulator. So
this episode brought to you by Sound Deadening. Sound Deadening. They sent us a crap load of it.
They should be able to stay cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. Very nice. After hours and hours of cleaning and adding sound deadening and taking stuff apart and putting it back together, the last one is ready to go on. I did a little bit of math and guessed that we need 72.
I'm going to, while I'm watching this, all I can think about is Pimp My Ride. You remember Pimp My Ride? Old exhibit. They take some junker ass car, put a whole bunch of unnecessary nonsense inside of it, and just goes, "This got a fish tank, dog." Because that's what you want, a fish tank in the back of your Chrysler minivan. They said oftentimes at the end of Pimp My Ride and everything that you could not actually usually drive the car. You certainly couldn't sell it or anything, and it kind of fell apart. And what wasn't exactly what we'll call widely street legal, the Pimp My Ride cars and everything. Shock of all shocks, But but at the same time too, I feel like if you tried to get rid of one of those cars, you couldn't do it, right? It's like, who wants to buy a car with a bowling alley in the back? That's usually not what most people's priorities are. They're like, I'd like to put my suitcase in there for when I'm going on a trip. They're like, no, that's not available here. We have a bowling alley in the back of the trunk. So no vacation. I wonder if this truck is going to be like those abandoned cars at the end of the thing. Because I don't know how much he got this truck for. I feel like he had to have paid for it for sure. But how much? And when he's done with it, what's going to happen to it? He's not taking it on the road. Do you have a spot for this giant fire truck? I don't know. Maybe. Listen, maybe Linus has more warehouse space than I'm aware of.
Square feet. Frickin'
Language.
box is empty now. Nailed it. This is gonna go up, and then
Nailed
start actually thinking
it.
about speakers. To attach the speakers to the fire truck, I need to make a whole bunch of little jigs so I can have accurate holes.
He said jigs. He said jigs. That wasn't. I know what some of you were thinking. No.
They're going to be centered, all of that good stuff. And I was able to do the entire process on this wonderful little laptop right here, the HP Z.
Brought to you by HP. HP, buy this crap now.
This guy right here has the AMD Ryzen 9 AI Max Plus Pro 395. The name could use some work, but man, the chip could not, because I was able to do full SolidWorks in here.
I wonder if you can get, if that's what you have to do, is just be like, hey, I get to talk a little bit of shit about your product, right?
This right here isn't a super complicated model, but I was able to do it. Then pop over to Lightburn. I have full control of the laser just on this little laptop. Has USB-A. Love that. And now I can just throw this on the laser and boom.
USB-A for all you old pores out there that still have your USB-A stuff.
This one's going to go right about there. So I can place it just like that. And then figure out where my template needs to go right there. Now, one thing you might be thinking is that this speaker would sound better if I was to turn it so it was facing directly at me, but that isn't so much the case. You will get the flattest response out of a tweeter if it is pointed directly at you. You will also get the largest change when you move around if it is pointed directly at you. So having it like 20-30 degrees off here should mean that it will be very consistent sounding everywhere that your head ends up going.
How are you bobbing and weaving a whole bunch while you're sitting and watching a movie, are you? Catch this. See if you can give me some.
Before mounting each speaker, we are going to want to first add a little bit of foam tape on the outside just so it doesn't rattle around on all of the metal crap that we have. And one final step before attaching it forever is just putting
Make sure those safety glasses are on so that that tape don't get you there, bud.
On a little bit of loom tapes. This stuff is just really good for vibrations and stuff like that. We don't want this hole right here slowly wearing a hole through our wire and killing our whole sound system. First speaker is attached. How solid is it? Fire truck going over some bumps. She's not going anywhere. Beautiful. For speakers like this one right here, I originally had a bunch of
Okay, he says that, but like I got good money. There's no way this truck is moving with that thing operating. No way in hell.
inventive ways using
Calling it now.
3D scanning or 3D printing and whatever. No, I'm just gonna drill some holes straight through the truck.
Oh, he don't give a damn.
The fire truck. Oh, yeah, not going anywhere. It is subwoofer time, finally.
Where are you putting it? That's what she said.
Have to spend quite a bit of effort beforehand to make sure that things just didn't squeak a whole bunch. The stupid fake leather that's in there loves just being incredibly loud. What we ended up doing is adding in some foam on the bottom and then this sort of felt stuff. We didn't do the best job attaching it, but you're not going to be able to see.
I love, like, Linus Tech Tips will always tell you when they do something kind of jank and they're like, listen, we didn't do this all that well, but hey, what are you going to do about it, right?
It anyway, so
I kind of respect that.
Who cares? To mount the subwoofers, we're going to be going into them through this hole right here. That did mean that I have to take this little access panel off. And also we had to take off the oxygen tank holder from these seats.
Wait, how are you going to get oxygen into the truck then? They not thinking about nothing over there, man. You need oxygen to live, bro. Don't screw. You screwing it up.
It looks something like this, and man, getting it out was some difficult. From
Man, there's so many. All right.
the factory, a bunch of the screws in this thing are just pre-stripped, so that was fun. I could have avoided doing this by simply having this panel be anywhere else, but I really wanted to have it in the back because I am really concerned that people are going to get in, see these dials, and just start playing.
They're gonna start diddling with the dials, man. Don't be diddling with my dials. Don't do it.
With them. I want to tune this so it is excellent in the truck. So if
And put a little piece of tape over it, says no touchy.
someone comes in here and starts playing with the crossover knob, all of my
I'll damn sure know about it, and somebody's gonna get a spanking.
efforts will be gone. That way we can have this in here, put that stupid oxygen tank back in there, and no one will touch it.
Oh, he's gonna put the oxygen tank back in so they can breathe. Good news.
Don't do it. If you do it, I will
Don't do
be
it.
really mad. I'm very sorry about this, Kef. You sent us these speakers, and I hope that you knew that this is what you're getting
Sorry,
into.
and I'm Canadian. Eh?
Oh, man, she is solid. That is...
I can see it flexing in the bottom.
Oh, like you can see the truck flexing? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. With the headliner attached, we can plug in the speakers. Our polycarbonate speaker mount can...
Here's what at least that my fear with this would be if I was doing it, would just I'd get everything done and it'd be like, all right, time to take it on a test spin, and nothing would work, and it just would be like the entire video would be like, well, we devalued this truck even further than what it was already, valued at, which was not much to begin with. So, where's exhibit?
then get attached. And then full send a self-tapper into the roof so it can never come off. Why is there nothing there? We're putting a hole through the roof. Always make sure to deburr your holes. If someone touches it, like everyone will be when it's up here, you don't want them to get cut. Finally, we have to attach the speakers that are going to go in the front. One thing that's fun about this is our center
What we've talked about all of the speakers and everything, but we have yet to talk about any kind of visual element to this. So this is all right.
channel speaker will become structural.
So far, it's just
to
an
this
audio
truck.
experience.
It is going to be holding together the right and left panels, and you will not be able to take them off individually after this. This is so silly. And it's wired up. Look at this beautiful thing right here. Just going to turn it around, and then with any luck, we're good to test it. I did wire 120 volt in underneath the receiver, but for now, we're just going to use the wall. We don't need to turn on the fire truck and idle
Which means he probably didn't do that.
it for all of our testing. Moment of truth. Does it hit? This is going to be ridiculous.
He's gone.
Oh my god, the subs are so loud.
I will say this, though. If this video gets copy stricken because of this effing song, I'm going to get ripped.
You can feel it just in your chest. It is right beside you. She works. It's a beauty. Now we just need to get her tuned, and it's going to be sick. After a quick tune and an all-out brawl with Windows sound settings, we have a fire truck with a sound system.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. This is amazing. I can't believe how clean it looks. I gotta ask, these height channels.
Yeah.
These gotta be at like minus 35 dB off of the reference volume. Like, come on, they're right there.
I don't know. I just did Derrick Live and freaking figured it out.
Dude!
Told you I had direct
I gotta
5 in
hear
it.
this.
Well, but you haven't even seen the AMD integrated tablet laptop thing,
Oh, no way. No way. Okay, who designed this 3D printed mount?
Rob.
This is so cool.
We've got your 7.2.4 Dolby Atmos surround sound fire truck audio, but that's your TV, maybe? I don't know. Oh.
So, like, okay, dude, You play your music like that, and you're like, oh, no. I got to operate my sirens, bro. Just like that.
It turns out in Windows, you can also have full Android Automotive. You like run a server off of your phone, and it just like, poof.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes
Yeah,
way.
like, you have like maps here.
Dude, this is not even stupid.
No, it's sick.
So everything still works.
Yep.
We have full Dolby Atmos.
Yep.
We have flipping Android Auto, which wasn't even one of the goals. And the whole thing is so tidy that we can still operate the truck completely normally. None of my view
Especially
is
during the
obstructed.
fires.
Oh, okay. That back window, maybe a little bit. But come on, let's face it. Subwoofer versus rear window. We all know what we're going to
Subwoofer. Subwoofer. Come on now.
prioritize. This is nuts.
Again, I'm gonna be pausing this intermittently because it's gonna get me.
Dude, you can feel
Oh,
the
yeah.
bass.
It turns out if a sub's this far away from you, you can really feel it.
And with like these bouncy seats, it's like, yeah, buddy.
Let me tell you, them bouncy seats in these vehicles and stuff as well, hella fun.
Yeah. I have some disappointing news for you, Alex.
What is that?
We've peaked. Nothing can ever be cooler than this again.
We could put that 18-inch sub in here.
Okay, the thing that stands out to me most, though, is not even like how big the bass is or whatever. Obviously, any idiot can put a gigantic subwoofer in a car. We all know that idiot, right?
This guy, he's an idiot.
Hey, mine sounds great.
But that is exactly it. What stands out to me is how not actually ass it sounds. It
How not ass.
sounds awesome. I'm really impressed with these flat panel speakers too.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what I was expecting, to be honest with you, but not this. You have to imagine pulling up beside someone at a red light with the windows down in this car.
Absolutely bumping it.
Oh, that's so good. This is crazy. Okay. I think I'm over headphones. I was the kind of guy back in my teenage years, early 20s, who literally had 5.1 surround around my desk at home. Alex, I think it's time to go back.
Oh, 100%.
Listen, I think people don't realize how important audio is. Audio is wildly important for your experience. I know there's a lot of folks out there that go like, hey, man, I got a big TV and everything. This is great. My TV sounds great. And maybe it does. Maybe it does. But it could always sound a little bit better. And whether that's a sound bar or jumping up to a full dedicated home theater and everything, it will make the difference. Even just having a little subwoofer. I mean, even if you're in an apartment, man. I mean, I used to rock all the stuff. It's possible. And it makes all the difference in the world.
Near field speakers like this, I hadn't tried this in years. Not with modern processing. This is insane. I owe Alex and the
Watching on a 9-inch screen. Diabolical.
team an apology. I did not believe in this project.
What'd be cool is like if like maybe they had a screen that came down over the front of like over the windshield and everything outside, and there's a projection, so it's almost just like a moving like a drive-through, but for just them.
I thought it was going to be like her, you know, whatever.
It sounds sick.
I'm trying to think of a setup that I have listened to in memory that sounds better than this. I can't come up with one. Have we gamed on it?
We haven't.
Oh, I feel like we gotta.
It has Strix Halo. You
Sure
can
does.
game.
You can totally game.
Thank you, AMD.
I think Strix Halo is low-key
I don't know what the hell that is.
AMD's best product in like years. The fact that this is a full-fat modern gen console grade gaming experience in this is nuts.
Oh yeah, this is part of the ad.
Everything sounds so much more epic. I can hear exactly where cars are behind me, which I was really not expecting with the speakers so suboptimally positioned.
That was one of the coolest things ever when we really started just getting 5.1 in gaming. And I had a 5.1 system in this time in like 2003 and stuff like that, when like Xbox came out with good, true, proper 5.1 Dolby Digital. And it was unbelievable what kind of a difference that made. You'd be playing Halo and all of a sudden you'd hear a little something in the background and you turn your you turn your character around, and then the sound would swing right on over to the front and everything. It was amazing. And I don't care what kind of fancy headphones and stuff you got, you're not recreating that 5.1 plus experience with any kind of headphones. You're just not. It's a fallacy. It's just like it's playing mind tricks on you, just trying to fool you into thinking that you're hearing something somewhere. Having that actually be somewhere, game changer.
I'm loath to use the P word to describe anything,
Pussy?
but this may be just perfect gaming audio.
Oh.
This is intense.
It's so immersive. Even though I'm on a smaller screen, it is amazing what immersive surround sound does to an experience.
It changes everything, man. You can have a subpar picture, but if your sound is stellar, it's going to kind of help. It's going to kind of help that. At the same time, too, if you have a stellar picture, but your sound is absolute garbage, it ain't going to work.
And like, normally the rumble of the controller feels kind of cheap and cheesy, you know? But with that much bass behind it, it's great for everything. You know what else is sick?
AMD?
All of your guys' great ideas that you're going to post in the comments under this video for us to continue to pimp the crap out of this thing. Alex was pitching
I'm telling
using
you,
the fold down doors on the sides to have like TVs, lawn chairs, like
fish
the whole 9
tank.
yards for like
Fish
what,
tank.
like tailgate
Put a
gaming
fish
or
tank
whatever?
in it.
All right, we'll
Shark
see.
tank if you're
We'll see about
balling.
that one. But we're going to do something, and probably with the help of our sponsor, AMD.
Shark Tank.
If you guys enjoyed this video, why not check out the unboxing where we first got hands-on with this, or if you want to check out some more AMD.
I seen that video. That was a good one. Let's give a little thumbs up on this bad boy right here, and I'm going to share that in the chat, and we'll put it in the show notes later on. Thanks to Linus for letting me geek off of his stuff, because I'm a lowly creator and no one watches my shit. So I figure, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to milk the other guys, put your opinion in there. And then eventually one day when somebody goes like, oh, he's got some stuff, then I can actually put out material that takes time to do that somebody might actually want to watch. Because I put out some stuff and people just ain't watch it. It do what it do. But I will say this: we're almost at 1 million for the popcorn video, which has been lovely. It's been a nice mainstay, and it's probably been the thing to make me weirdly believe that somehow I can still do all this crap. And so have you. You have made me believe that I can do this crap as well. And if you are still here, if you're under the sound of my voice, if you've been listening for whatever reason, be a big old dirty baby and like and subscribe on this sucker. Hit that bell notification so you know when we're going live. And check out the shorts and stuff too, man. We're doing little shorts on all the bigger videos and stuff that I'm doing. We're just trying to create some kind of content so we can have something going on here. So I'm not living in the poorhouse anymore. Yeah, man. So let's get into it. We got a couple of big reviews. I'm going to finally get to it here. I know everybody's going like, "What's easy? Just get to the reviews." I came in, I saw the thumbnails, and I wanted you to get to the thing. And you know what? You're right. You're right. It's time to get to it. So I'm going to start with a movie that technically comes out tomorrow, but preview screened yesterday. I was going to go see it and check it out and review it on the podcast and everything, or on the YouTube channel, whatever the hell we want to call it. I was going to review it here, but I didn't realize it was 2.5 hours long, this movie. Plus you got, your 15 to 20 minutes worth of trailers up top. Then I had a 25-minute drive home. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to be able to make that 10 o'clock stream time here and everything. So I thought we're going to go ahead and just give you 2 films as opposed to 1. Because I thought about doing a double feature today, but then was like, no, I'll go see F1 on Thursday and then Megan on, or no, F1 on Wednesday, Megan on Thursday, instead of doing both on Thursday and everything. So we just get a lot out to you. So that means that you're going to have 2 reviews out here. We're doing it for you. All 2 of the viewers, it's for you, buddy. Thank you so much for watching. We love you. Let's get into it. First movie up today is going to be F1, the new movie from Top Gun director Joseph Kosinski. Kosinski, I believe I should be saying it correctly. Let's read that IMDb plot line. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor and team up with a younger driver. Listen, it's a simple. It's because the movie itself is simple. You know, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But this is like I said, this is directed by Joseph Kosinski, who just most recently did Top Gun Maverick, written by him and Aaron Krieger, who also co-wrote the story and everything as well. So starring Brad Pitt. What's the new gentleman's name? He's a newer guy. Damien Idris, Javier Bardem, Kerry Condon, and was there another big one? Anyways, yeah, man. So this was I was looking forward to this in as much as this was a follow up to Top Gun, and what I saw in the first teaser trailer for this movie. Was a bunch of F1 cars zooming around a track and everything. And you know what I noticed when I was watching that? The cars were real. The footage was real. And it was at that point, I was like, oh boy, this might be good. And then they started playing, what was it, like fucking We Will Rock You or something like that? That turned me off a little bit because I'm sorry, we gotta stop going to all the boomer butt rock here. If I gotta listen, I'm a fan of it, but like Sweet Sean's Kovacs from the internet was correct. If I gotta hear Barracuda one more time, if I gotta hear Queen, We Will Rock You one more time, no. What's another one? Kickstart My Heart. I don't need to hear that no more. You gotta stop it. Outside of that, though, I was like, okay, let's see what we got with this movie. This movie is a lot like Top Gun in as much as it's kind of that same old story and everything. But again, as I have said many times throughout many reviews, if you're telling the same story again, that's perfectly fine. But because we like hearing those stories, they just need to be told interesting and slightly different than what you've done in the past. That's all. And that's exactly what this is. Brad Pitt was, kind of a guy who was a racer at a young age. He was poised to be an F1 guy and everything, but and by the way, the little flashbacks and everything of a young Brad Pitt, very convincing. You got kind of filmed in an old kind of school style there and everything and whatnot. But we all know what Brad Pitt looked like when he was like 20 years old and stuff like that. So it's like, oh man, feels like they actually shot that. But he's this old timer. So he had this big giant wreck back in F1 when he was like, kind of this young protege who was just kind of, ripping it up there, battling it out with Senna and stuff like that. And, but he's been retired. He goes around and, wins a couple races here, does like 24 hours of Daytona, wins the race, doesn't even pick up his cup and just kind of leaves. He's just doing stuff for checks. He's your kind of a rogue wanderer driver and everything. He's got this big giant newspaper clipping where somehow in the universe that we're living in here, there's giant full page ads for driver needed for a Baja truck event. What? First of all, like I got news for you. If you can't find enough drivers to do that kind of crap, your sport's probably not doing all that great. And if you can't find those drivers, do you think that you're going to find those drivers by taking out a full page ad in a newspaper? Is that where a lot of the Baja drivers are getting their material? Is out of the Daily Circular and everything? Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's how the movie rolls. Javier Bardem plays a guy who is kind of the manager, more or less. I don't know what all the official roles in F1 are. Don't get up my ass for this. But he plays one of these old timers who, like Brad Pitt, raced and stuff back in the day. He actually used to race against Brad Pitt and whatnot. There was some sort of falling out that happened there. At the end of the day, Pitt's a little kind of a dirty bird when it comes to this. We'll talk about that in just a second. But they have a great little kind of rivalry there and everything. And so he brings him back in the fold and says, "Hey, man, you want to come back and, race for me? I've got this young guy here. He seems to be doing okay, but he needs that kind of, he needs that sturdy hand. He needs that hand to help him along and become the driver that he's meant to be. And you're the guy that's going to be able to get him there." And well, it turns out he was the ninth guy that has to sort of do this. Things are falling out. The company doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of money still left in this, but of course, everybody's got a dream in their heart. And of course, Brad Pitt's character is not kind of normal. He's not your regular sort of go along to get along. He's got his own thoughts and ideals, and he's like House. You remember House? House would always kind of have like his little ideas and stuff like that, and everybody would tell him that he's wrong. It's like, you're sick, you're out of your mind. That's not what this is. This is the medical case, and he's just like, no, it's this right here. You'd go through this whole rigmarole, and son of a bitch, wouldn't you know it, House was correct the entire time. This is the House of F1 racing movies, because everything that he does say is kind of correct. But I will say this. He's correct in a lot of ways, but he makes a lot of mistakes. And that's what's kind of cool about the character and stuff too. And not having watched any of the trailer or really known what it was about outside of, it's from the director of Top Gun Maverick. It's Brad Pitt. It's F1 racing. And, we're doing live shots of racing and everything. That was enough to sell me. So I knew nothing about the story. One thing that I was absolutely surprised about is how Brad Pitt's character is not kind of a, what's the male equivalent of a Mary Sue? What is that? Does that have a name? About Bobby Joe? He's not perfect. He's kind of a screw up. He's not. Thank God he's not like your stereotypical like alcoholic and all the other sorts of stuff. But he's just kind of like a washed up guy who's got some opinions and stuff like that. And he's got his way of doing things. And he always kind of has that drive to win, the drive to survive and all that kind of stuff. And the one thing that I was really kind of shocked about throughout the entire movie, and the thing that I was surprised that was asking of the audience, was this guy's kind of a cheater. Or at least maybe cheater might be a strong word, but he's at least a guy who will, let's call it, take advantage of any situation that might come his way. He is clipping cars all the time. He is intentionally doing things to slow up and muck up the works there and everything to get things into position. But of course, he's doing a lot of these things without actually telling people what he's doing. So it looks like he's being a mad person. And then all of a sudden, when things work out correctly, it's like, oh my God, he's a genius. But so at one point, though, eventually they do kind of go like, Lane, listen, he's kind of been right the entire time. Just sort of let him go. The movie kind of overall will do a lot of the things that you would imagine that this movie would do. Why also this movie did not open on Father's Day weekend is beyond me. This is a Father's Day weekend movie all day long. Why you'd wait 2 weekends after that is really beyond me. Head scratcher on that one. Folks over at whatever company put this out, I forget even off the top of my head. But yeah, real big mistake there, because the dads would have gone to see this movie all day long. It is absolute catnip for fathers. But as much as it does what a lot of these sports movies do, and especially driving and racing movies and stuff like that, it does all of those things. But there are a couple of moments. There's a couple of, I'll go spoiler free as I can here, incidents that made me go like, wow, oh, does it have the guts to kind of do something like this? And it almost does. It almost does, but it made me at least question that, something like something could happen at any moment in this. And that was kind of a nice feeling of just going like, oh, there's actual true danger going on in this. And it's not just a guy who's kind of like, wrecking a vehicle and then it going over in the corner. He's going, well, gosh darn it, we're going to get it all next time, which there is a bit of that, but it's not just that. And everything we are kind of, learning about stuff and like, cause he's never actually driven F1 proper and everything. He's done all these other kinds of races and stuff like that, but never really F1. So him learning on the job is enough of an entertainment. I will say this, though. This movie is 2.5 hours long. It does not need to be 2.5 hours long. This movie could be 2 hours, and it would probably be better. I don't know why we need to. I mean, the racing is fun. The racing is fun. It's very intense. And because we're actually shooting cars going at excess speeds and everything, it feels like things are actually dangerous. There are moments where you're just like, oh my God, it looks like Brad Pitt is, driving this vehicle and everything. And surely there's safety stuff involved, but he's out on a track doing some actual speed and stuff like that. And it makes you feel it. But overall though, I mean, it's a pretty good film. It's your PG-13 fare and all that kind of good stuff. I'd like to say that this is kind of the movie that America kind of needs right now. It's just that kind of middle of the road. There's no real politics or anything in it. It's just called, here's an old timer who's trying to get in, one more thing and seeing what he can do and if he can leave his legacy for the younger people and stuff like that. Or if he's just going to, be the kind of washed up, retired piece of garbage that everyone kind of secretly suspects that he is. And what's, Javier Bardem doing within his, club and stuff like that, because they're always kind of threatening to shut him down and whatnot. And these guys are so far in the last place of F1 and everything. They just need to get up and get their speed and everything. And of course, Brad Pitt's going to be the one to do it because he's wow, man, he's crazy. But overall, though, it's certainly not as good as Top Gun Maverick. I mean, Top Gun Maverick was just kind of a master class in your modern day action film and stuff like that. This movie is good, but again, I think it's just a touch too long, but at least we keep moving. I will say this, it's montage city over here at F1. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it does kind of keep things at least interesting. We do go to enough races and there is enough racing in this to where it doesn't feel like it's kind of a talking movie that happens to have some racing in it. Racing is still very much at the forefront of what makes this movie this movie. Overall, though, I would say I would give this a solid 3 out of 5 stars. It's good. It's nothing to really quite write home about. However, what I will say is, as a home theater guy and everything, I went to this in a PDX theater, which is a Dolby Atmos theater and everything. And let me tell you something. Anytime I go to any of these theaters, it's always just kind of like a dry run for my home theater whenever this thing comes out on video and everything. And I am excited for when this movie comes out because I'm sitting there just going like, this is going to kick so much ass over at my place as opposed to what they got going here and whatnot. Again, cinematography, fantastic for it. I hope we get to see more things like this where people are driving actual cars, doing actual stunts, and hopefully having the Academy have an Oscar for stunts and stuff is going to encourage more people to actually have stunts and stuff in their movies and not rely on CG and computers and everything like that. I think that would be a very smart move. However, like I said, we want to be safe and everything like that. So let's not, go, hey man, there's an Oscar for stunts and stuff. Let's see what we can do and maybe, push the limit a little bit too far. And, you don't want to hurt yourself or nothing like that. Not permanently for sure. So keep that to a minimum. But outside of that, I'm happy to bring on more physical effects and stunts and stuff in movies. We need more of that. But F1 is out right now. Solid 3 out of 5 stars. Check it out. All right. How's everybody holding together? Woo! We got one more movie review for you here. Nope, that's not it. We got one more. Trillian says, I hope Megan 2.0 was crazy fun. I'm at the theater to check out Pixar's Ilio. Well, sounds like he's got himself a solo screening. If that box office is any indication. I'll see Megan sometime this week. Hell yeah. Ilio looks like fun. May take my granddaughter. Man, that Ilio made no money, man. No money. Y'all need to get John Lasseter back up in that piece. He hugged a woman. Fire him. Unacceptable. I won't accept it. All right, let's get into our last little bit, y'all. Alrighty, up next, we're going to be talking Megan 2.0. I was a big fan of the original Megan film. It was one of those when they were like, hey, we got this. It's you showed me the plot of that thing for like 30 seconds, and I was like, I'm already sold on it. So when they said, hey, we're making a Megan 2.0, not surprised. Again, it's a Blumhouse special here, so you know that this thing wasn't made for next to nothing. I wonder what the, does it say what the budget was on it? They don't do that this much these days. 25 million. So they had a decent budget on this one, comparatively to most other Blumhouse films and stuff like that. But they'll make that money back, I believe. But with as much money as Megan made, I think the original one was made for probably under $10 million. Most of the original the first one was made for 12. That I remember. I remember reading that in an article. The first Megan was made for $12 million. So this one doubled that budget. But, with that first Megan, I know it made well over that. So it makes sense that they would double the budget for this. And it does feel like they've doubled the budget for that. I will say that I don't think that little scene was is this in the movie? I don't think this is in the movie. I didn't watch any of the trailers because I didn't want to see nothing. You ain't spoiling me, damn it. Here's the IMDb plot line for Megan 2.0. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. 2 years after Megan's rampage, her creator Gemma, I'm sorry, I haven't read this before, and it's in tiny ass print. Give me a second here. Oh my word, can't read. 2 years after Megan's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting. Oh my God, her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, the military-grade weapon who was built by a defense contractor who stole Megan's underlying tech. This is written and directed by Gerald Johnstone, written by Alika Cooper and Gerald Johnson and James Wan. I think those two wrote somehow the story or something like that, but Johnstone wrote the screenplay, if I'm not mistaken. This is starring Allison Williams, who still has yet to contact me. Come on now. Jermaine Clement, Jenna Davis, that's the voice of Megan. Violet McGraw plays Katie. It's spelled with a C, so it bugs me every single time. Amy Donald play the body there of Amy, and Ivana Senko, sure, looking like she's got kind of a. There's a little bit of Uma Thurman, and who is the other gal? I'll remember it later. And this guy Aristotle Athari, that this guy was in it as well. So here's the deal, man. M3gan is back. They kind of took, like you said there, the tech and everything of the M3gan, and then kind of transferred it into this this creature that's supposedly like for the military and everything. I don't know how the military goes. You know what we need? A little blonde girl to start kicking the asses of people. That's what's going to do it. But listen, the story's got to be what the story's got to be, right? So they decide, hey, we need to bring M3gan out of retirement. She's now kind of backed up herself and has been kind of living in the house, if you will, watching over everything. But they end up putting her body in this little kind of like, it's not like not a Furby, not an amiibo. What was this? There was like a Sony thing or something like that. Whatever, one of these little weirdo AI assistants with a little face and stuff like that. They put her into one of those bodies, which is a great little thing. The little animated face and whatnot works perfectly. And M3gan being snooty back and just being like, "Hey, I want to get into my own body," and all that kind of good stuff. It was it's a good enough premise. You get to where you're gonna go with this movie, and that's what it is. And so she just goes like, "Hey, if you want to get me in there, you want my help and everything, you got to put me in a regular body again." But of course that's what you would do. Now the director himself, and I mentioned this in a live stream that I did previously, where the director himself says, this is his saying, he says this, that he did not that he didn't see any of the Terminator 2 parallels within this movie. In as much as the first Terminator film, the Terminator is going after Sarah Connor, and that is his mission then, is to kill Sarah Connor, who will then, not have John Connor, and thus, Judgment Day doesn't take place. But come Terminator 2, James Cameron flips the script, and instead of having the Terminator be the thing that's trying to kill Sarah Connor, he makes it the thing that's trying to save her. This is very much the exact same thing that we had last time. So M3gan is this android that is put together to guard Katie and everything, but she's killed some people in the process. It happens. But so she goes, that's always kind of been her underlining thing, and that's kind of been the fun part about M3gan as kind of a character and everything. She's always just been, listen, the only thing I've ever done is just try to help Katie. I've always been protective of Katie and stuff like that, because that was kind of the mission that I've been given and stuff. So, but here's the big thing. I won't go much into spoilers and stuff like that, but eventually, M3gan gets her body and whatnot, and she gets to fight the other big robot and whatnot. You figure all this stuff's going to happen. But at the end of the day, what the movie is, and I mentioned this again in the kind of previous stream where I was going over in Hollywood. I want to say it was a Hollywood Reporter or Variety article that was talking about M3gan 2.0 and M3gan movies themselves, and how the writer-director really is kind of just trying to say some stuff here. And M3gan 2.0 really also does kind of start saying some stuff and has some things to say about culture and society and about AI and about how, we're treating these things. And I will say this, this is not a spoiler, but I never in a million years thought I would watch M3gan 2.0 and there would be an Ichi the Killer reference in it. That's all I'll say. But I sat there and just applauded when I was like, wow. An Ichi the Killer reference in M3gan 2.0. Crazy. But speaking of crazy, though, I had a bad experience seeing M3gan 2.0. I thought I was going to be lucky, man. I got my ticket. I was the only person in the theater. Got a seat right in the middle. Perfect. I was ready to go. I'm just like, this is going to be a lovely theater going experience. And then 2 minutes before the movie started, a group of 12-year-old boys came bundling into this theater. And they were loud and they were crazy. I told them to shut up at one point. They didn't quite shut up. They shut up enough. And it wasn't enough to, like, completely ruin the movie for me. But they were in and out a whole bunch of times. And I predicted this. I predicted that I would have a bad time. It was 2 p.m., man. 2 p.m. and these little buttholes are in there. This is why I need to go see R-rated movies instead. These little dumb kids can get into see PG-13 films. But outside of the bad kind of, the folks there and everything, M3gan 2.0 was a fine affair. Nothing super to write home about. I will say this: at 2 hours, again, M3gan is too long. M3gan is too long of a movie. This should be a tight 90 minutes. I don't know that we do so much in here that it deserves an extra half hour worth of material. I think we are trying to say stuff. But I think that if you're not careful, you're starting to tread a little bit on the George Romero preachy scale, where it's just like, okay, we get your point. We may also agree with your point. But one thing that you don't have to do is keep telling us and keep telling us and keep telling us. It's a little bit much. However, I will say this: everybody is really good. Violet McGraw again as Katie it was awesome. She was great as the little one a couple years ago and stuff like that. She's grown up. She's still great acting. Really awesome. Jermaine Clement back in this. By the way, I look at Jermaine Clement and all I can think of is like sexy Bruce Leslie. It's there. He needs to put that one together. And Allison Williams still just like, my word, I can't help but like look at this lady and just go like, she wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire. But man, you can't take your eyes off of that lady. I wouldn't mind her starring in more things. That's all I'm saying. But ultimately though, M3gan 2.0 is a fine enough film. It's nothing wild and crazy. I will say this much: if you like the original film, there's a good enough chance that you're going to like this one as well. It's fine. It's fine. I would go. I'm going to go a solid 3 out of 5 stars with this one as well. It's just, it's okay. This was one of the movies that I was kind of looking forward to a little bit, but didn't have it in the highest of hopes just because, it's a horror sequel. But again, the writer-director says that there are many more plans and ideas that this movie itself, this series could have, and the series itself become a commentary about where we are within the landscape of technology and everything, which I think is I think is a good thing, and a thing that you could come back to and every couple of years revisit it with another little version of M3gan where she has to come through and fight the technology du jour. I don't know. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot better. Could be a lot worse. That's M3gan 2.0. That will be out in theaters this Friday. All right. Well, everyone, it's been a fun time here with you this evening. What have we learned? We've learned that you can put a 7.2.4 surround sound system inside of a fire truck. We learned that. We learned that Brad Pitt's still doing it, looking like Robert Redford. Remember when he started with Robert Redford back in Legend of the Fall there and everything? I think he's Robert Redford today. Redford not as good an actor as Newman, but still a good enough actor. But he made up for his lack of acting with his immense handsomeness and everything. I feel like Brad Pitt's that same sort of way. He's a good enough actor, maybe not an amazing actor, but a good enough actor. But them good looks, they help even out that teeter totter there and everything. I think it's fine. But it's good. It's good enough for what it is. I Could be better, could be worse. But that's it, everybody. Again, our podcast is going to be on Saturday. We're going to be live streaming the podcast on Saturday as opposed to Sunday. Sean needed to kind of move it around a little bit, so we shall move it around. I'm not 100% sure on the time as of yet, but we'll talk about that soon. You can always get all of that information over at patreon.com/HMP. We'll be posting all that stuff up there. And of course, follow the YouTube channel as well. Like and subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Hit those notification bells so you know when we got a new video coming up. So you know when we have a live stream happening, which we are happening more and more of those live streams. And thank you guys for hanging out within these live streams. Thank you for commenting. Even if you're a spam commenter, I don't care. I don't care. At least you're doing something. And we appreciate you doing something around here. But yeah, man, we got more stuff coming to you and everything. Like I said, I've got some home theater stuff brewing right now. Super stoked about that one. And but yeah, we'll be, and again, so the podcast coming out on our live stream will be on Saturday. We're covering Trading Places and our last month of our Eddie Murphy 80s movie marathon month. So do check out that. And the next month after that, you're going to have to pray for us extra hard, because we're going to be talking about all the four Fantastic Four movies, including the new Fantastic Four film. Will we have a fourth Fantastic Four film that sucks ass? We're going to find out. And we hope that you find out along with us. So go subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to all the things. Patreon.com/HMP. All that kind of good stuff. And thank you, man. Really appreciate all you guys hanging out here. And we'll see you maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. We'll find out.